Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill today that would allow college athletes to sign agents and make money.
A grocery store in Chinatown is closed, and more will shut down by the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm in downtown LA, and this isn't a concert. A presidential candidate is in town. We'll have more coming up next.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
All right. It's now law in California.
That's right. A new bill signed into law by Governor Newsom is being cheered on by college athletes. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Baranow.
And I'm Caleb Michael. The governor signed the bill on an episode of HBO's The Shop, surrounded by athletes like LeBron James and former UCLA gymnast Caitlin Ohashi.
It's going to initiate dozens of other states to introduce similar legislation, and it's going to change college sports for the better.
SB 206, also called the Fair Pay to Play Act, will allow student athletes to be paid for their name, image, and likeness. California is the first state to pass such a law. Student athletes won't get salaries, but can earn money signing endorsement deals or appearing in commercials. The law affects college athletes at public and private schools, but does not apply to community colleges. Many former athletes have spoken up about the positive impact they will have on these individuals.
I was very eager to advocate for this because I want athletes to have the opportunity to reap the benefits of their athletic success.
USC released a statement saying it remains committed to student athlete reforms and, quote, stands ready to work with California officials, the NCAA, the Pac-12 Conference, and others. The NCAA also released a statement expressing concern about the new law that it believes will, quote, make unattainable the goal of providing a fair and level playing field for 1,100 campuses and nearly 500,000 student athletes nationwide.
It's an initiative that's long overdue. We've been exploiting college athletes for far too long, so it's the civil rights issue of the day. So I'm glad the governor agreed with that and put his signature to SB 206.
The law will not take effect until January 2023. That will give the NCAA time to decide how to respond. We'll have more reactions to this new law later in sports. 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang is holding a campaign rally here in Los Angeles. Annenberg Media's Cecil Hannibal is there live. Cecil?
That's right, Caleb. I'm here in downtown LA where hundreds of people are waiting for 2020 presidential candidate Andrew Yang. Now, if you're not familiar with Yang, he's from upstate New York. He studied at Brown University and got his law degree from Columbia University. But what's most interesting is he wasn't a politician before this race. He was the founder of the nonprofit Venture for America. Now, about his political policies, take a look at this graphic. Yang is in support of Medicare for all, human-centered capitalism, and his most popular political policy is universal basic income, which would allow every person above the age of 18 to receive $1,000 a month. I spoke with one Yang supporter who was all for universal basic income.
It's like a unique idea, the fact that, hey, why aren't we taxing Amazon? Why aren't we taxing Facebook when they're using our data to generate billions of dollars for themselves, through advertising fees? I mean, if we just give like a sliver of that and we could just eliminate homelessness and poverty, I'm all for it, right?
Guys, it's been a party here. There was somebody literally breakdancing when we got here. You can tell the support is real here for Andrew Yang. They call themselves Yang Gang. There's hats, there's paraphernalia. I mean, the love is real in Los Angeles. Now, doors opened at 5, but Yang is expected to go on at 6. I'll be here. I might dance a little bit. I can't lie to you guys. I'm having a good time. And just so you know, Andrew Yang is 2 to 3% in the polls right now, making him in the top 10, which made him qualify for the next Democratic debate, which is October 15th, hosted by CNN. For now, I'm in MacArthur Park. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio. For Annenberg Media, I'm Cecil Hannibal.
Big developments in Washington today in the ongoing impeachment inquiry against President Trump.
Annenberg Media's Kevin McNamara is here now with more. Kevin?
Thanks, guys. House Democrats are moving forward with impeachment proceedings related to the president's efforts to get the Ukrainian government to investigate chief 2020 rival Joe Biden. Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, was subpoenaed by the House committee today for documents relating to the conversations, while leader Mitch McConnell said that he would have no choice but to take up impeachment proceedings, although a Republican Senate is unlikely to remove the president from office.
The statement I made to the president of Ukraine, a good man, a nice man, knew was perfect. It was perfect. But the whistleblower reported a totally different statement, like the statement, it was not even made. I guess statement you could say with call. I made a call. The call was perfect.
California's whopping 53 House members are going to play a significant role in the impeachment proceedings. Those members include Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, as well as the chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff. It also includes key Republicans in the House like Kevin McCarthy and Devin Nunes, both from the Central Valley. With key figures on both sides of the aisle hailing from the Golden State, it's clear the battle for the presidency will go right through California. Elizabeth?
Thanks, Kevin. LA leaders are urging Governor Newsom to declare a state of emergency to help deal with the homeless crisis. Officials hope a declaration would free up state and federal funding to accelerate housing development. The number of people living on the streets has grown to as many as 60,000 in the county. While state and federal funding is typically reserved for natural disasters, officials are urging the state to suspend those regulatory barriers to increase shelter and housing development. One homeless advocate at the Union Rescue Mission shared his thoughts about the proposal.
State of emergency was a long time ago, not just now. It should have been taken care of in the past. Back in the 80s and 90s, I was on the streets, but you could not have a tent. You had to have a cardboard box. In the morning, you tore it down, and the guy took it for rubbish. Quit talking about it. Do it.
Homeless emergency declarations in other states have a mixed record. One California lawmaker says what's most important is to have a clear policy that it's not okay for tens of thousands of people to be living on the streets. Another horse has died at the famous Santa Anita racetrack. That is the 32nd death at the track since December of last year. It was the second day of opening weekend for the fall racing season. Check, a 3-year-old colt broke both front legs while running down the stretch during the 8th race. Racing was stopped at the park earlier this year while officials examined the track after a series of horse deaths. Races resumed in April after safety measures were put in place. Check will undergo a review at the UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine. This review is a standard for all on-track horse fatalities. There is still no clear reason for all the deaths.
If you enjoy cooking homemade Chinese food, soon you won't find the ingredients in Chinatown. The last two large food markets are closing down. A small crowd gathered to honor G&G Market, which is already closed. Idaho Market will close by the end of the year, and residents are concerned the last of the Chinese grocery stores are going out of business. The reason for the closure is a combination of high rents and lack of parking. The gentrification of Chinatown is squeezing out the low-income and elderly.
No more store, no more market. That's why they maybe find a different location.
Idaho Market has been in Chinatown for more than 3 decades. G&G Market opened 12 years ago. Owners for both markets tried to negotiate with the landlords to stay.
These places, these grocery stores, they have reasonable prices, and they are convenient options for us to shop at. We can just walk here.
All the other places are more expensive, and when I come here, it's a little cheaper. It's actually gonna make things harder because then I'm gonna have to find another place to shop at.
They have things like Chinese pastries, and they are nearby. It's too far to go to stores located like in Pasadena.
Longtime customers say they don't know where to find the ingredients for authentic dishes. Many don't have transportation to suburban markets in the San Gabriel Valley where many Chinese people live. There are still some smaller markets that remain in Chinatown. Chinese shoppers say with the closure of the last large markets, it's not just an inconvenience, it's the end of their way of life.
Forever 21 filed for bankruptcy, another hit to brick-and-mortar retailers.
The second phase of LA straw ban goes into effect tomorrow. Find out what it means for you.
Wild weather struck parts of California over the weekend. We'll show you what happened.
Encuentra el bosque más cercano en descubreelbosque.org. El bosque, más cerca de lo que crees.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
You may have heard the clothing chain Forever 21 is entering bankruptcy. Malls across the country may soon look different as the fast fashion icon begins to slow down. Forever 21 has plans to close more than 170 stores in the U.S., but the company insists it is not going out of business and hopes to organize a return to profitability soon.
Basically, we didn't have a break room because the break room was just like full of boxes of clothes. We had maybe one chair back there, so there were people that would be working in the back, like unboxing clothes all day, every day, and we would just have boxes constantly coming in and out of the store just full of clothes. There were racks all over the place.
The fast fashion business model has struggled to keep up with the efficiency of online shopping. The excessive waste in mass-producing fast-moving trends has made Forever 21 products a common sighting at secondhand stores.
Kind of knew it was coming, especially because they've been having like so many more sales and stuff recently, which I mean I've taken advantage of. But yeah, I think it's kind of a good thing. I think that we need to start realizing that like fast fashion is really not a good thing and that it's really bad for the environment, and so I think that it's a kind of a wake-up call to that industry.
The company has not yet announced which of its 549 stores in the nation will close.
If you notice the use of paper straws and sippy cup lids at your local coffee shop, more are on the way. The second phase of a Los Angeles regulation banning plastic straws goes into effect tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, restaurants will not give plastic straws to customers unless a customer requests one. This second phase of the, quote, straws on request initiative is more wide-reaching than the first. The first phase was only for restaurants with more than 26 employees. The manager of Dulce and University Visits says a lot of customers do not like the change.
I mean, not even considering the initiative, we were using paper straws for a while. Hated them. Customers hated them. Went back to plastic straws, and currently, we're still using them. We're trying to transition to sippy lids, so nothing immediate and effective by tomorrow.
Some students say the plastic lids leak and are not environmentally friendly. We talked to one student who has found another alternative.
I actually haven't been using a metal straw that long, less than a month I would say, so 2 to 3 weeks. I'm using it because I want to be more environmentally friendly and conscious, so I purchased it to reduce my waste, so I use it along with my hydro flask and Swell water bottles.
The current plastic straw ban does not apply to fast food restaurants. In all, Americans throw away more than 500 million plastic straws each day. That's a lot of straws.
That's a lot of straws. I know. I need to get a metal straw because they come in like cute little containers. You can put them in your bag.
They do.
It's so easy.
They do. I'm not really a straw person. I'm more of a... I like my hydro flask. It's simple and special.
Yeah, I've heard about the hydro flask. Do I need to get one?
I think you do.
And they come in a bunch of different colors.
A bunch of different colors.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I gotta get one.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, I heard the weather is wild, so let's talk to Nicola.
Happy Monday evening. Well, if you're a fan of sweater weather, this week is going to be absolutely perfect for you because temperatures are going to be cooling down, but of course for California standards, that just basically means it's going to be cold. Right now it's 72 degrees, but let's take a look at the tomorrow temperatures. Last week up in the Inland Empires and Palm Springs, we were up in the triple digits, but this week 78 to 87 degrees. It's really cooling down. Even up at Big Bear, it's going to be 59 degrees, and over at San Bernardino, 76 degrees. take a trip over to Malibu, where usually it's a little bit chilly too, but this week it's going to be really chilly as well, 69 degrees. Over through to Thousand Oaks, 72 degrees, and over at Northridge, 75 degrees. Let's take it back home to inland. Right here at LAX, it's going to be 74 degrees, USC 76 degrees, over at Pomona 76 degrees. If we take a look at the 5-day forecast, you're going to see that temperatures are going to drop quite significantly compared to last week. It doesn't feel cold, but it is going to be a lot colder. Tomorrow, 76 degrees, Wednesday, 83 degrees, Thursday, 81 degrees, dropping down, Friday, 82 degrees, and of course, Saturday, it's going to feel a little warmer, not much, but 85 degrees. Now, like Elizabeth said, last week it was red flag warnings, and this week it's tornadoes and hail. Davis, a city west of Sacramento, just took the lead for the craziest weather. On Saturday, Davis was hit by a tornado. The tornado went down a 2-mile track and touched down multiple times, meaning it appeared, then it was disappearing, and then it reappeared again. The Weather Service says it's early for tornado season, but this storm was predicted, and not a lot of damage thankfully occurred.
Good news is it was in a rural area, and also most of the farmer fields had already been harvested, so there weren't a lot of crops that were ruined or damaged, which is of course good news.
MEET also says it's normal for hail to appear after this type of a tornado. If you look at this video here, you can see how much piled up on the roads yesterday. And Sacramento beat the record for the coldest temperatures by 1 degree with a chilly 45 degrees. And the last time it was this cold was back in 1986. And to make things even crazier, the above average temperatures of the 80s and higher are going to heat up Sacramento this week. So I think that's absolutely amazing. It goes from absolutely low temperatures, 40s, lower than 40s, and then this week it's going to be up high 80s.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And the red flags and the tornado and the hail. That's wow.
I actually didn't know that there were tornadoes in California. Call me crazy. I thought it was too hilly out here.
They're very rare, but of course, like she said, we're not in season right now, and so you don't really hear of many right now, but it's off. So it threw a lot of people off. I mean, and then hail came too, and not a lot of people are prepared for snow in California.
On the roads, yeah. Well, a new statue of Bracero migrant worker was unveiled during the celebration in downtown LA this weekend. Artist Dan Medina created a 19-foot tall structure in Migrant Spend Plaza in downtown LA. It is the first monument to honor the Bracero migrants. The Braceros were workers from Mexico that came to the U.S. illegally through a government program to help with labor shortages during World War II. An expert on the Bracero movement says Braceros were important to the founding of the country.
And in some ways, what I think is really awesome in this particular moment is that we think about the ways in which American policy has created migration, and not see these migrants as, migrants that are constantly in the shadows of American history.
The Bracero migrant statue is part of a $3.2 million project to highlight Native American, African American, and immigrant cultures.
Well, I am ready for sports. Thanks, Elizabeth. Coming up, more reaction to SV 206 and how the Pac-12 has responded. Plus, USC sports suffered a weekend of losses, some in their first round.
Hi, I'm Smokey Cole Bear, filling in because for 75 years, Smokey only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
Meanwhile, the song was wrong. We did start the fire. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy. You, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hey, let's check out this park.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother and... I am totally a hat person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Let's get back to the Fair Pay to Play Act. Since LeBron James's post this morning, there have been mixed reactions across the NCAA to this controversial topic. The Pac-12 issued this statement discussing their disappointment on the new law. They, quote, firmly believe all reforms must treat student athletes as students pursuing an education, not professional athletes. I had the chance to get the reaction of Professor Ben Carrington, who believes that the legislation takes big strides, but could still do more to support the athletes' rights.
This doesn't have to say anything about whether or not student athletes should be paid directly, and I think they should do. So the big change really is to give rights and kind of ownership to the student athletes over their likeness, their image, and the types of activities they might get in outside of campus, and to get paid for it.
With this news breaking today, we can only expect more reaction across the NCAA, and more will be there to cover it all. Be sure to follow along by following us on Twitter at @AnnMediaSports. USC has a much-needed bye week this week before facing number 9 Notre Dame in South Bend next weekend. The Trojans fell in Washington, losing 28-14. This was another tough road loss, looking a little too similar to the previous one. Quarterback Matt Fink ran into the same problem Keaton Slovis did 2 weeks ago at BYU, throwing 3 interceptions. The Husky secondary not allowing Fink and company to take off with their air raid offense. Luckily, the Trojans found a little relief in the run game. USC's 212 rushing yards in Saturday's game have been the highest yardage in a game by the Trojan backs so far this season. By the numbers, the Trojans held their own, but it was yet again those 3 interceptions on critical plays that killed their chances of winning the game. As if one loss wasn't enough for USC athletics, Lauren has more on the other Trojan losses. Lauren?
That's right, Tyler. It was a rough weekend for USC athletics with major losses within very talented teams. The number 3 USC women's soccer suffered a loss to Stanford at their Pac-12 opener. This marked the first loss of the year for the Trojans, who are now 7-1-1 overall. Here's what junior Ashley Plumpter had to say about the disappointing loss.
It's good for the freshmen, the underclassmen, to know, like, okay, this is a loss and we can't get complacent now, especially how the other teams in the conference are doing. We can't take Arizona lightly.
Another team that struggled this weekend was USC men's water polo. They took part in the SoCal Invitational this weekend, winning the first match, but they fell to number 4 Pacific University. They ended the tournament in 5th place after a slim victory against Cal. The Trojans will have the chance to climb back up the rankings with their upcoming games against UC Irvine and UCSB this week. On a winning note, USC's freshman golfer Yuxin Lin of China became the 2-time Asia-Pacific amateur champion this weekend. With this win, Lin has not only earned a spot in the 149th Open, but a spot in the 2019 Masters as well. USC's men's golf shared a tweet about his success as the second golfer ever to win this tournament 2 times. Here's what Lin had to say after his win.
Being able to get back to the Augusta and the British Open is just a really great, I'm a little bit speechless at the moment, but it's just a great feeling, and then I can't wait to get back to those 2 amazing majors championships.
Lin will step onto a bigger stage as he continues to prepare for the Masters and 2020 Open in the UK. That about wraps it up for USC Sports. Back to you at the desk, Tyler.
Thank you, Lauren. As the quarterback curse continues to loom over the NFL, former Trojan Matt Barkley saw some playtime yesterday after the Bills' starting quarterback Josh Allen had to leave the game with a concussion. Barkley, who threw 9 of 16 for 127 yards, unfortunately sealed their loss to the Patriots after throwing an interception in the final minutes of the game. Now, maybe Matt Fink and Matt Barkley could have a little chat about the interceptions. That would be an interesting conversation to kind of listen to. I know it was a tough game for Matt Fink on Saturday. Did you guys have the chance to tune in?
Yeah, I did. And I think what's hard is to ask a quarterback with not that much experience to go into a hostile place like UW, a consistent college football playoff contender. You're going up there on the road. It's another ranked team, ranked matchup opponent. To go in an air raid offense to defense like that, it's just tough.
And I know Keaton Slovis touched on how hard it is to bounce back from the mentality of knowing that you're the second string. So I can only imagine how Matt Fink felt after being named the third string, to bounce back from that and to carry his team into Washington territory. I know that's tough. They have a bye week, so hopefully Keaton Slovis can get cleared, not only get cleared, but have some time on the practice field with the boys. So we'll see next week at Notre Dame.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. I cannot even imagine. All right.
Coming up, Jewish people around the world are celebrating.
We'll find out how students are making Rosh Hashanah here at USC.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Being prepared is a part of who you are. But it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Today, our digital team has new developments on the admissions scandal. Austin Pay reports on USC AnnenbergMedia.com that former FBI Director Louis Freeh has been hired by USC to look into what went wrong in the athletics department.
Jews around the world are celebrating Rosh Hashanah, otherwise known as the Jewish New Year. USC Hillel co-president Brandon Kaufman explains how students are coming together as a community.
I think it's a very difficult time for students if it's their first time away from home. Most times, especially Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that's spent with family. So it was it's an important thing to be able to be a part of another community. Whether this is their first time or their 10th time visiting Hillel, it's a place for them to have another family.
Brandon says Hillel supports students academically and is willing to talk to professors about postponing assignments and missing classes during the Jewish holidays.
Thanks everyone for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Caleb Michael.
And I'm Elizabeth Barno. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps! Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
only you can prevent.
Answer. Kevin
nailed
was gonna
it.
be like,
We
I
literally
think it's funny
nailed
they're
it.
both named Kevin. Can we talk about that?
Also Matt, yeah.
Oh,
That's
Matt.
absolutely what I would have done. And then I would have been like, one of them should be named Kevin.